Hey guys, welcome back to Rooted Homeschool. I'm really excited to share with you guys today my planning and prepping to start the At the Pond unit, which is the Ready to Read 2 unit for pre-readers from Gather Round Homeschool. Now, I shared in a previous video about the Ready to Read 1 Burrows and Holes unit, so if you're interested in that, definitely go back and take a look at that. We finished that up, we loved it. I absolutely love the style of the Ready to Read units from Gather Round, as well as the regular unit studies that we've done from Gather Round as well. So we're really excited to start At the Pond. There is not a lot of prep with this, which I absolutely love. I will talk to you about some quick extra add-ons that I do, but I really want to stress that these things are not necessary. The one thing that's really great about Gather Round is that it is truly open and go. So you could even order your books in print. They will get shipped to your house and you don't even have to print anything. One thing that I am trying new for the spring, for all of my teacher's guides for the few units that we're doing for our spring curriculum, is I did try printing them out myself and then having them bound at Staples. It was like $5 and I actually really like it so far. I didn't choose to do this with my children's notebooks because they've been using a binder system all year and it's really been working well for them, especially because they're doing more than one unit and it just makes it easy to have everything in one binder. Showed in previous videos how I break that up. I'll also show you briefly how I'll set up Gia's binder to update it to include her At the Pond unit. So again, mine is pretty easy. It's not a very thick book at all. It's very easy to follow the Ready to Read units. I will just show you very quickly. I'm not going to do a full flip through on this, but I will just show you the lessons in the teacher's guide for the Ready to Read units are 1 page. So this is the full page of what I need to read for each lesson. So this is my teacher's guide. I have 1 page per lesson that I read, and then she'll have a handful of pages that goes along with it. And I'm going to show you how I set up her binder. So one thing that I did do ahead of time that I recommend because I love books, but it, again, is not required, is that I did take out some books from the library that go along with the unit that have to do with ponds. And I'll show you really quickly how I will set up my bookshelves to include those books. So in my last video, Homeschool Plan With Me, from last week, which focused on prepping for the Campfire Curriculum's square foot gardening unit, I did show how I set up my bookshelves. I will keep some of the books from the gardening unit up there, but then I'll make some space for the pond books that I've taken out from the library. You can see I've cleared off some of the books already off of the bookshelves that I did have up for the Campfire Curriculum's square foot gardening unit. So I will keep some of them, like the plants book and the bugs book and the Up in the Garden Down in the Dirt, and then the 2 nature poem books I will keep, and then Farmer Boy, because we haven't started it yet, but I did pull that for one of our read alouds for the gardening unit. And then on this shelf, I did keep the spring pop-up book, the Where's the Ladybug Lift the Flat book, and then the board book version of The Tiny Seed. So these, I might be moving these around a little bit, but then also I'll be adding in the pond books. So this is what we have on our bookshelves for the week to start off the pond unit. I did keep, again, some books on this side. I moved them all over to this side. The ones that kind of go more along with just our spring nature studies and our gardening unit. And then on this side, it's focusing all about the pond for the most part. So at the bottom, we have these beautiful pond books. I mean, look at these books. Here we have Beyond the Pond, we have At the Pond. And then I thought it was super cute to keep Over and Under the Pond right next to Up in the Garden Down in the Dirt. And then at the very top, I did keep Farmer Boy because this is one of the books that I chose as a read aloud for our gardening unit together as a family. We haven't started it yet, but we're still doing that unit, so we have plenty of time. I did add The Biggest Puddle in the World, which is not a focus on ponds, but it's all about water leading to the ocean. Then I kept Rising Water, which is about the Thai cave rescue, which I originally put out for a handful of the lessons in the Burrows and Holes unit for Gia. they were about caves. So I got this one as a way to tie in some cave learning thematically for the older boys. And then I added in a long walk to water. Again, not about ponds, but just another way to sort of tie in some connections between the At the Pond unit, which is for Gia, and tie in a little bit of that for the older boys. So just to show you kind of visually what that looks like, we have the books, and then right next to it, we have that learning shelf. So things within their reach to get them interested about the things that we're learning. Even though I typically switch out the learning shelf every week, this setup I am going to leave for 2 weeks, and I may switch out 1 or 2 things if they seem to get bored with them or they don't seem interested in them. But I will show you really quickly. So one of the books has made their way off the shelf this morning. It's probably somewhere in the house. It's just a small high five book about colors, because the bottom shelf, the focus was on colors. So I just had the colorful blocks. I had the little colorful snake to go along with the gardening unit that we're doing, and also because, again, colors is the focus for my 2-year-old for his learning goals for the week. And then on the top, I really did select these things to go along with the pond unit, even though we hadn't studied it yet. So that's why they're going to stay. So just this simple Melissa and Doug fishing game, the rainbow fish book, which I probably will switch this out. Actually, this may be the only thing. I haven't decided yet. I may end up switching this out and putting one of the pond books in place of that, but maybe not. I might leave that there. And then this little wooden nesting waves toy. They've been loving them. We've done the cave one, we've done the rainbow, so now they have the water one out here, and they've really been liking this so far. Like, even my 9-year-old will make all kinds of like structures and stuff like that with it. So that is how I do the learning shelf. Something that I really do want to mention though is that you do not have to have a book display, and you do not have to have a learning shelf. You do not have to have any of those things. You could simply print out your At the Pond unit or have it shipped to you straight from Gather Round. Open up on that day and just do your lesson with little to no prep involved. I do think the books add an extra element, but again, you could just have a stack of them on your table or pull a new one a week from the library or a couple ones a week from the library. So it doesn't need to include a ton of prep. It doesn't need to include a ton of extras. I'm just sharing with you the things that I do to sort of extend the fun and the learning, not only for my 5-year-old who's doing Ready to Read, but including in my 2-year-old, and then also finding ways to sort of include my older kids as well. So I'm gonna show you very quickly how I set up Gia's binder for this unit, and it's very quick and easy, very low prep. The Ready to Read units are longer than the regular Gather Round unit studies. The regular Gather Round unit studies are 20 lessons, and the Ready to Read units are 36 lessons. So they're a bit longer, and they've broken up the student books for the At the Pond unit into 2 student books, just book A and book B. But the teacher's guide is, again, pretty slim, and just 1 book that you need for that. I choose typically to just print what I need for the week so that pages don't get torn out and the binder doesn't get too big and all of that. But you definitely don't have to do it that way. That's just how I choose to do it. Okay, so this is as easy as it is. This is Gia's binder. As you'll notice, the cover is her pre-reader version of Square Foot Gardening. And then the very first thing when you open it is her gardening unit. Then the next thing is Burrows and Holes. So I'm going to be taking this out. So usually I'll have her cover of her binder be the same as everyone else so that she feels a part of everything. But just to get her excited about the At the Pond unit, in the beginning, I will switch this out with this. And then when we do start our artists unit next week, I'll put the artist cover on for her like everyone else to get her excited about the artist unit along with everyone else. And then, you know, this will become like a secondary thing within her binder. So I'll show you how simple this is. So as I mentioned, I'll just take out the gardening unit cover and replace it with the pond unit cover just to get her excited about it when she sees it. And Gather Round just has such beautiful illustrations, so I love for them to see the new covers and get excited about the unit, and I really enjoy looking at them as well. The Campfire Curriculums really does have beautiful illustrations as well. So I'm taking out the Burrows and Holes stuff, as I mentioned, and I'm replacing that with the square foot gardening curriculum. So I put the covers for the different units that are not on the front cover in page protectors, just to separate the units to be able to get to them more easily while still keeping them in the same binder. And then I'll take this week's worth of work that I printed for the pond unit, and I'll just hole punch it, and then it'll go right in her binder. It'll be the first thing in her binder since I did put that as the cover. So whatever is obviously on the cover will be the first thing in their binder when they open up their binder. Okay, so her binder is all set up. It took me about 2 minutes, maybe. So as you can see, I swapped out her cover. And her very first thing that you'll see when she opens up is a letter straight from Rebecca, which I'll read to her, which is just kind of an intro to the unit. Then the scope and sequence, which is more for me than it is for her. The table of contents. And then we get started right away. So what will happen is I will read to her lesson 1, and then we'll work through these pages together. So I showed a lot of this in the Burrows and Holes video, so I won't go over a ton of it now. But there's always a word family, the consonant blend friend. So it looks like we're working with consonant blends that have 3 consonants in them now in this unit. The last unit, there were only 2. So she'd have like SP or SL, but she wouldn't have 3. Then there is math. So we do calendars that come along with the unit. Then some more with the word family. There's always some Bible. And there's always math. And this is one thing that I really love about the Ready to Read. So the regular Gather Round unit studies do not include math, but the Ready to Read units do. And I love that. So I do not have to figure out a separate math program for her. So there's always fun little like cutout books and things for them to play with and manipulate with their word families. This is her sight word that she'll learn for the first week. There is some social studies, some more review of her word family and sight words together, and then some more math, some science, some more math, and then each week ends with a mini book about using the word family for that week. Some more math, journaling, so some writing, and then some art. And then this would be the following week. So technically it runs on more of like a 4-day week. So the only other thing that you need to worry about printing, if you are printing on your own, are the sight word cards and flashcards and cutouts that they'll cut out and put on certain pages. So I only do it for the week, the same as I do with the binder pages, but you could print everything out ahead of time. I do print these on cardstock, and I will keep these in my binder. So I don't keep them in her binder. I try to keep her binder minimal, and I will only cut out what she needs for the week. So I know for this week, she needs 0, and it even tells you right on here, so you don't even have to look through the binder. It tells you the week. Week 1 consonant blend, week 1 sight word, and then week 1 word family. So I'll only cut out those, the ones that she needs. Okay, so that is it in terms of prep. I just cut out those 3 things that I showed you. I'll put them in the front pocket of her binder so they're ready to go for the week. And then these remaining sheets I will put in my binder for when we need them in upcoming weeks. There's one last thing that I am going to do just for fun for this unit that I will share with you guys. All right, guys, and that is it in terms of prep. I just want to remind you that it could be even easier than what I showed you today. You do not have to do bookshelves with pond books. You do not have to do a learning shelf that has pond-related toys on it. You could simply order these in print, have them shipped to your house, open it the day that you want to start your unit, and just jump in. I am going to set up one more thing and then I am done. I'll be starting this unit today. I am going to make a pond sensory bin to go along with the launch of this unit because I just think it's fun. So I will create another video if you would like to see how I'm going to put together my pond sensory bin. So if that's something you're interested in, you can check that video out. Otherwise, if you like this video, click the like button, subscribe. Let me know in the comments if you found this helpful, if there's other things that I could explain to you or other things you'd like to see. The link is below in the description box for this unit. Any of the extra things that I use, like on the learning shelf, if they're available on Amazon, I've linked them. I've linked my Amazon storefront below. If you're not following me on Instagram, definitely go ahead and follow me at rooted_homeschool. I share like day-to-day stuff that we do, stuff that we'll be doing with the lessons, all things homeschooling, motherhood, big family life. Hopefully we'll see you in the next video, and until next time, stay rooted.